So 2015, my life fell apart. I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and a panic disorder. I quit my research job. I forego all of my school plans, and I got into a point where I was suicidal and I couldn't be left alone by myself. In the midst of all of that, in 2012, I had a really sharp turn in my spiritual life. I started doubting God's existence. And so when this mental health crisis hit, I didn't know what to do. The people in the churches that I've been a part of, it was a dichotomy. It was either, it's all a spiritual battle, or they just don't talk about it. I was never taught a healthy way to deal with mental health and what that means with spiritual warfare, what that means battling dark thoughts in your mind, both with tools of the world like therapy and medication, and then also the spiritual tools that we're given as believers. I was also trying to figure out how to do this in the context of being a mom to 2 kids, and the depression was so bad and my view of myself was so dark that I did not see how I had any worth to my family, that all I was like a drain on them, and that I didn't need to be there anymore. In the summer of 2021, I started coming to a women's group at Point Church Cary, and I hadn't been a part of a women's group ever, and I hadn't been a part of a Bible study that I was really invested in learning in years. And so I was excited, but I was very nervous, but it completely changed my life. I learned again how to read scripture. I relearned how to pray. And I remember feeling just so excited all the time because I felt like I was getting intimate with God. If I'm in a really dark space, it's a really hard day at my absolute lowest, I now have learned that I can turn to God, and I pray just over and over and over, because depression and anxiety that severe is paralyzing. And so I find myself just praying, Jesus help, Jesus help, Jesus help, out loud or not, just however I can get it out. And He has always answered that prayer. Sometimes it was getting the courage to text friends that I'm close to that I needed prayer, and that they would come alongside and they would fight with me. Other times it was my husband dropping everything and rushing home to be there with me. Other times it was remembering to take my panic medication and going and taking that. And then other times it was God Himself coming onto my spirit and giving me peace and calming me down and clearing away the dark clouds. I don't like being a burden on other people. And so knowing that when I am doing so badly that I can't help myself, that God is still going to help me no matter what. And that He's going to use people that love me no matter what is unnaturally humbling. It's a grace I don't deserve, but I'm so grateful for. So this past year, even though it has been one of the darkest depressions of my life, I've also experienced a sweetness with God that I've never experienced before. And I'm realizing that how I talk to myself with hatred and condemnation and really ugly things is not how God sees me. He's not looking at me saying, you should do this, you should be doing this. He's not looking at me with shame. He's looking at me with love and with compassion, and all He wants is for me to be with Him. It's not this long list of to-dos that I imagine in my mind. He just wants me to be with Him. And I found a lot of peace in that, because I haven't been able to dig myself out of this hole, but I can just stay there and rest with God. And that's one of the most powerful things I can do.